Hey y'all, Chuck here with No Time to Be Sad. Hey, I have a couple of guests today. These guys have been in a couple of my recent videos, but I wanted to sit down and they're kind of interesting. So anyway, this is Susie and this is Ron. And I want to ask them a couple of questions because I had a couple of people ask some questions through our videos. And I said, I don't know how to answer. I don't know. I didn't ask you guys. So I'm going to ask you now. Okay. So real quick, they decided to pick up and retire and move to Thailand. Is it kind of on a whim thing, or was it really a thought out process? Or
it wasn't really thought out, no.
As much as we think of it.
So you guys were planning on retiring, though, right?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
My job as a contract engineer ended abruptly.
Oh, abruptly.
And so we just looked at each other and said, let's just do it now.
What kind of engineer?
Aircraft, aerospace, airplane stuff. You know, just kind of.
Are you an astronaut?
No.
He is a rocket scientist.
I did work on rockets.
We have an actual rocket scientist here. I feel so small right now. That's okay. I know I'm stupid. It doesn't matter. Thailand makes you stupid, by the way.
Well, aerospace, put enough horsepower to it, you can make a brick fly.
So you retired from that?
I just quit. Just said, that's it. I'm done.
And you are today how young?
I'm 74.
74 years old. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Are you in pretty good shape?
Damn good shape.
Good shape. And Susie, this is an impolite question. How old are you?
Well, I knew you were going to ask me, so it's okay. 49.
49. You look pretty young. So.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I had you figured a little younger than that, though.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good thing. It's all the good eating. It's all the green.
So what did you do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
Maintenance engineer.
Oh, yeah. Recently, maintenance engineer.
Oh, okay. So are you happy to not be working now, too?
Well, I have to tell you, so I was a single mom,
Uh-huh.
you know, for most of my life, obviously. Ron and I have been together, what, 12 years? 12 years now. So, but I was a single mom.
Uh-huh.
So I had my own cleaning business. I worked at Wendy's, was in management. And then I worked as a missionary in LA for like 3.5 years. And then from there, I was in Big Bear, California. I moved to San Diego. And from there, that's where we met. And probably the hardest thing to do was to stop working. Because with Ron's job, you know, the contract and everything, so we went to Arizona, right? I think that's what happened. And so that's kind of when I kind of stopped working, kind of, you know, and I went back to school for kinesiology and yoga and health and fitness and stuff like that. So it was hard. It was really hard because I've been working and doing stuff my whole life, and I don't sit well. I don't sit very well.
So you guys were looking into Thailand, or how did the idea of coming to Thailand come about?
Well, I think that really happened way back in California. We talked about going overseas. You know, just kind of
Just do house sitting, Europe, for instance. You know, just take time off and
Travel.
have fun. This Thailand thing came up. I came home a year and a half ago and sat down outside the patio with a cigar, and Susie sits down and says, I've been thinking, what do you think about Thailand? I like to think we'd like to go to Thailand.
Yeah.
I says, okay.
Wow, you got a good one. You got a good one.
And so we planned to do this. And about 4 months later, that's when the job ended. So I was planning to take a year and a half to set up everything financially and so forth. So we just expedited the whole process.
Not to be rude, but Paige is sitting over there working on our next little adventure. So say hi, Paige. I don't want to leave her out of the conversation. She's busy. So you just sold all your things?
Everything. Sold everything off. Went down to five suitcases. 4 big bags and a couple backpacks and so forth.
our tennis bag.
Cars, house furniture, everything.
These guys were lugging around so much stuff, and they were telling. I said, you know, you guys. Not to change the subject, but they're trying to find the place that you can try to settle into for a while in Thailand. You haven't really found it yet, but you're on the hunt.
Right.
And they were lugging all this stuff around. So you guys told me you had to pay like 14,000 baht for a plane ticket
Just for luggage.
just to go from Bangkok to here.
Chiang
No, from
Mai.
Chiang Mai
From Chiang Mai
to
Rayong.
Rayong.
to Rayong. Wow, that is a lot of money. So anyway, I said, just keep your stuff here. You guys can leave it here for as long as you
Oh,
want.
we appreciate
We
that.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that is, so now you're a little bit more flexible,
Yeah.
but you're trying to find a place to settle in. So you guys checked out Chiang Rai,
Chiang
Chiang
Mai.
Mai.
I mean Chiang Mai, and you
Yes.
guys liked it.
Love Chiang Mai. That's where we landed. We got a hotel for 2 weeks, and we always like to be by the water. So we got a hotel near the river there.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Ping River.
The Ping River. So, and we could walk around and everything, which is very nice.
Uh-huh.
So we did that for 2 weeks until we could find a place. And the day before we had to check out or get another place, we found a condo.
Uh-huh.
And it was right, I don't know, where would you call that?
It's just south of the square. It's an ideal location.
Yeah,
The
that's
big
right.
market, they got the Mung Mai market and the Warab markets.
So a condo
Square.
to rent or a condo to buy?
To rent.
To rent.
Oh, yeah, we don't buy. We're not, no buy.
Somebody's going to ask that. So.
Finished with that,
Don't
yeah.
buy.
No.
No.
And we actually got a condo, it was 76 square meters.
What
Because they
was the
had
price on it?
14,000 baht. And they had taken 2 single ones and the previous owner had combined it together.
Oh.
So we had a huge space.
Oh.
Up on the 10th floor, amazing views. It was wonderful. We don't do transportation. We don't drive. And so we were able to walk around everywhere. And this is our lifestyle.
Yeah.
We want to be active. We don't want to live in the burbs anymore. We've been there, done that. So over the burbs. So it was
So
very
what drove
nice.
you out of Chiang Mai to here? The weather or?
Smoke. The
pollution.
pollution smoke. It started back in November. It just started getting real bad.
Are you guys going to go back up there when the weather's nice and hang out? Or are you guys don't-
Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe to visit.
Yeah.
Because we did make some friends up there. So we
Yeah.
might go visit because we
Right.
love Chiang Mai, but we wouldn't go live again because we'd
Yeah.
have to leave again,
Yeah.
because of the weather.
Was the condo furnished?
Yes.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
furnished.
Nicely furnished.
Yeah.
It was. And it was Western style because some Canadians owned it before.
Right.
So that was nice. It was.
So you guys thought about maybe Isan, like on the river or something like that, but you didn't have a good experience in the Khon Phanom, you said.
You know, well, go ahead.
Well, we went to, where we go?
The Khon Phanom. Oh, Ubon.
Ubon. The people here are so nice. They really, I mean, it was just,
In Ubon?
Ubon.
Ubon.
Yeah.
They're just wonderful. We stayed there a couple weeks. Then we went up from Khon Phanom.
Yeah.
It was different up there.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say it's touristy.
Yeah, there's a lot of
tourists
touristy.
up there and so forth. And the city shows the tourist wear and tear. And the people, the closer they get to a tourist trade, the little more abrupt they become, if you will,
Right.
and so forth. They lose that openness and friendliness. So we kind of working our way down, came down here to
What'd you guys think of Top Phanom?
Oh,
Wow.
great town.
great town. It's a wonderful.
Any problems with the people here? Have bad experiences? Or?
They've been very pleasant here.
I love it in this town.
It's a
Everybody's
great
really
little
nice.
town.
It's a nice
I
town.
got them trained pretty well.
Good
We
job.
haven't mentioned your name.
No, okay. Just in case.
Things have been smooth.
Very good. But the
good.
thing is, for us, we need certain infrastructure
Right.
for our quality of life.
Right.
And that includes Grab. Because we don't drive. We need transportation. That's the biggest thing. Or a town or a city, whatever they're called here, to be walkable. Like Chiang Mai, it's in the little square. So it's very easy to maneuver and get around.
Somebody asked if you guys have done any research or have been to Krabi.
I've looked at that, and it seems like a possibility of,
Okay.
yeah.
That was a suggestion from one of our viewers.
Oh, very nice.
But
Yeah.
you guys are headed south from here.
Yes.
We're taking them to the airport, and then you guys are flying south.
We are. We're going to Paige. Where are we going again?
นครศรีธรรมราช
It's beautiful. You said it so nicely.
Thank you.
We're going to go check out some areas down south, and yeah.
Yeah. So, but we do love this area. We love Isan. Ubon is part of Isan.
Right.
Ubon Ratchathini, right? Ratchathini. Wonderful. And they have the infrastructure there.
Ratchathani. but
Oh,
it's
I'm
okay.
sorry, Ratchathani.
It's
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah.
They have the
We're
Grab.
following.
They have they have a mall,
Yeah.
and not that we go shopping, it's really not about that. It just helps us understand what type of infrastructure is in the city.
Right.
You know, especially if they have Grab, and we don't do Food Panda and all that, but if they have it, it's a good sign, you know.
So about your needs, do you guys have some dietary issues?
Challenges.
Or challenges, probably a better word.
Big challenges, huh?
So Susie had her gallbladder removed, and Ron has a few food
Oh,
allergies.
boy, long litany.
Yeah. So is it challenging so far in your seven months in Thailand?
7 months.
Has it been challenging? Like really, you think it's?
Well, silly us, you know, I'm allergic to pork, so we're in the land of pork.
Yeah.
And peanuts.
And peanuts,
Peanuts.
the land of peanuts. It's a challenge, but Susie does so well. It's like, you know.
So what? Ultimately, when you find a place, you're just going to try to do a lot of the cooking yourself. I guess is that the goal? You think? Or?
I'm not sure, it depends. Like we were in Chiang Mai, it was what, 50-50, I think, huh? Because the infrastructure there supported a lot of Western,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Western, a lot of tourists, but we ate a lot of street food.
Yeah.
So we go to the markets, we love the markets, we love the local markets.
So no problem then.
We haven't, the biggest challenge is, I would say, being here in Tampanoon and Phnom Penh was they really don't speak any English. And even when I get my phone out to do the translate, a lot of times they'll shy away and they're like, no, get that away from me. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. You know, so, but we do seem to manage to get like no peanuts, like for the somtam, no peanuts, no fish in there. And that usually works out, 90% of the time. It's been pretty good. And if one time it didn't work out, we just took it. We're like, okay, we just paid for it and moved on. So we didn't want to ask them to redo it, but.
I want to talk to you about visas. So I've never asked you what kind of I did, but not really in detail.
It's an OA.
You have an
term,
OA, and
yes.
you obtained that in the United States.
In New York.
Well, that's
In
a great
New
story.
York.
We flew up to New York and walked into the consulate there for Thailand. We turned our applications in, picked up visas the next day.
So 90-day.
No,
You got the
visa.
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Susie's got an 1 year visa attached to mine. And
So she piggybacks off of you. So are you? So is the amount of money that you got to have in the account? Is it
It's
16? So it's only you. So only you have to have 800,000. See, this has been a big misunderstanding for me too that I didn't know, and a lot of people. It doesn't really say exactly how it works. So the piggyback thing, everybody understands that you can go off of his visa. So you only are required to have the 800 or the 65,000 baht a
Right.
month.
Correct.
in fact,
you don't have to have that.
I didn't have the 800,000 because we hadn't been here yet. So I demonstrated the 65,000.
Yeah.
The clerk struggled a little with that, but the gal who actually did the visa totally understood, and that was no problem. You know, I just took certification, everything's happy.
And up there too, they're very nice in New York. You can call them, which is wonderful. They answer the phone. Go to the website, but follow the directions on the website. Don't do it your way. You got to follow their directions. She'll answer the phone. You got to be clear and concise with what you want, and talk a little slow, but she speaks good English. And she explained what we would get, no problem, because it's not on the web page. My visa that I have is not on the web page. So we get the visa, and she said we would not have to do the border runs. But come 90 days, we found out, and it may be translation between New York and here, who knows? Maybe it was just, Chiang Mai, I don't know. They said we needed to go do it. I had to go do a border run. And the gal explained, she gave us a piece of paper, explained that I can piggyback off of Ron's, which it should have been done, but it wasn't. And no problem. We just went and brought him all the paperwork and gave me my
In
visa.
Chiang Mai.
In Chiang Mai.
Chiang Mai.
Wonderful up there. They're very
A lot
nice.
of times that's a problem when you get it done in the States and you come here, it's always something different. It really depends on which immigration office you go to as well. I gave you guys a phone number to an attorney, and you guys are going to have to renew pretty soon your visa. The easiest way to do anything in Thailand is just hire somebody to do it. There's a lot of agencies and stuff out there, but this guy has got 100% positive approval rating from everybody. That he's not the cheapest in the world, but and I don't get a kickback. It just works, and I like to share stuff that works. But this guy, he can do everything for you on your next go around, so you don't have to worry about, you know.
We'll probably use him, but what we'd like to do is make a border run before
Yeah.
the visas expire and get a year's extension.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll
And
do that
then
before June.
put that off for a year
Yeah.
and enjoy
Because they
life.
always say you can get, what, 2 years or 3 years off of your first
2 years.
That
2 years,
I
I
have
think.
no idea. I've
2
actually
years.
never heard of that. So they say you can do a border run towards the end and get it extended
Another year.
For another year.
Yes.
Like when we did make the border run, they extended mine until
Another
until
year.
September. And we came here in June. So they had another 3 months on that.
I'll have to touch base with you back on that again because I'm curious about the funds. So if they require to see funds and all that stuff.
I
on
need to
that
find that
extension.
out. And
Yeah.
insurance also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my next question for you is you're 75 years old. A lot of people tell me that people are leaving Thailand in droves and they can't. I don't know anybody personally that is leaving Thailand. Of course, I don't hang out in certain areas where maybe people are on I don't know. I don't know anybody, and I talk to thousands of people a week, and seems like everybody's pretty happy. But the insurance is definitely an issue. So if you're 75 years old, theoretically, you just can't get insurance anywhere. But I'm in a process of making a video, and I'm going to share some sites that you can get coverage up to 80,
Yes.
80 years old, and then some of them will cover you up to 99 years old on extensions and
Yes.
stuff like that. So, but where did you get your insurance from? Did you obtain it in America prior to getting your visa?
We started. Now, I didn't need it for my visa because I was before the October.
Oh, okay.
Is it back in June or July 1st, really? But I do have insurance, and I got it because when I applied for it, 75 was the cutoff time. You know, that was the maximum. Nobody else.
What's the name of the insurance?
Pacific Cross.
Okay, that's here in Thailand.
Yeah, here in Thailand. So we got insurance with Susie, and for some reason, when I faxed my application, they wanted the original application signed. So we had to come here. Actually, I had to mail it from the United States, and we were here by that time. So, but I do have insurance, but we just had to go through it.
How much is your premium
I want to say 46,000 body here.
a year? Man,
I
that's
think-
cheap.
Comparatively speaking, it's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I canceled my Medicare, and that more than pays for it.
Yeah.
And to support that, though, Ron's very healthy.
Yeah.
No medication, no issues. So in doing that, because we kind of haggled with them with the price because we're like, Ron's really healthy because they came back at a higher price at first. We're like, you know, he's got the medical, had the physical, everything's fine. Everything checks out. So why do we have such a high price? And they did take all that in consideration. And they had said not everyone usually is in this type of condition, so they have to add those other things, and they have to, you know, take in consideration different things because of age-related, you know, situations. So, but it is traditional insurance, so he's not covered for heart because Ron did have a heart attack, you know, at one time. So it's traditional insurance, but I mean, it's no big deal.
What they do is previous existing conditions are exempt,
Yes,
so that which makes sense.
So do you have insurance, Susie?
we do. And mine was only,
It went 20,000, 25,000, something like that.
if even that, I think. It was
Mine's
really,
about that too. It's like $850 for the year, something like that.
oh, dollars, so, was it?
I don't
I
know.
don't think it was quite that much. I'd have to
Yeah.
look, I can get back to you on
Yeah.
that. But it was the same company, and we do, okay, so with Pacific Cross, they did have a cutoff. And we have spoken to them, and he did say they have changed.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
80 years now.
It's 80 years now. So, but we do not have the outpatient.
Yeah, I don't either.
We don't have that. We just have.
I don't feel it's necessary in Thailand because some of the clinics and stuff are very inexpensive, very cheap. There's no need to have insurance for that.
But the insurance requirement requires it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I've got to add it on.
You had to have it on yours, right?
Yeah.
But do you have to have insurance piggybacking off of
No.
this? So you don't have to actually have insurance.
I just get it just
Yeah.
because you
I
don't
think
know.
I think it's a no-brainer for the cost. You know, why not? You know.
Yeah, and
If something, because something could happen in Thailand. You know, it's not the safest
Be
you know,
careful.
on the,
Be careful where
traveling
you
on the
go.
road is not the safest thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, something can happen. Yeah.
But with Ron's insurance, we will say when we went to immigration to piggyback off of Ron, the gentleman did ask Ron if he had the insurance, and he was very happy that we chose Pacific Cross.
Yeah, because
He was like, okay, no problem. Because he was letting Ron know ahead of time, you just make sure you have it.
A lot of people are still kind of confused on that, but you know, if you just go to wherever country you're from, go to like, if you're American, you can go to the American Thai Embassy and go to the OA visa section, and then it'll show the insurance companies that they recommend doing it. There's a lot of confusion too that, you know, a lot of people have their own insurance that's covered overseas, but below that is an affidavit that you have to have your company fill out that shows that you have the minimum requirements. But,
And I'm told the insurance company, when time comes I need it, they'll issue an affidavit. So
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
coverage. So.
Oh, also in that link you were talking about, I went to that link and I called everybody. And I will say a lot of those companies for Ron's coverage was astronomical. The price was off the charts.
Some of them
It
were.
was very expensive.
And I'm told you gotta be cautious because some of these companies will write you, and if there's a claim on something pre-existing condition, they'll just out of hand, disregard it, discount it.
And Pacific Cross was very clear and concise as to what you're covered for and what you're not covered for.
Yeah, and if they didn't exempt it, you're covered.
Right.
So, I guess
Yeah.
that's a semi-pro.
And so for me with my gallbladder, I'm not covered for anything, well, it's gone, but I'm not covered for that or kidneys because I had kidney stones also. So that they won't cover anything like that. So it's a traditional policy.
I asked you this the other day, but the sound was horrible. We were out in the street walking around, and everybody's going to tell me the video's not out yet. But should have done that in a better place. But I asked you a question: what was your worst experience in Thailand? Is it still the same?
What would be our worst experience in Thailand? You know, maybe it's the bakery. Could that have been like? Would that be considered?
We've had a few
No.
unpleasant experiences. Nothing horrible, you know, the flawed pricing structure.
What's an example of that?
Ray on a motorcycle.
Well, I don't have a problem with this. I think it's really healthy. The parks and so forth, they'll have the Thai price and the
Yeah.
foreign price. And I think I respect that because the Thai government's trying to take care of Thai people as a priority. And I respect that, and I think it's a good thing. In fact, I applaud that. What I don't like is when you go to a market and one time it was dragon fruit was marked 40 baht. That young Thai gentleman in front of me bought it at 40 baht. I walked up there, it was 60 baht. Even though the sign said 40, and he just looked at me straight in the eye, and that was that.
And
So
the
we
Thai
walked
guy-
So do you respond back and say, oh, 40 baht or 60 baht?
We walk away.
Because I do. I point it out and I smile. Oh, Falang price 40 baht Kon Thai, Falang 60 baht. Okay, took me, and then I walk off. You know,
When
not
I-
that they care, but it just makes
Yeah.
it feel good to do that.
When my Thai gets better, perhaps I'll score off a little bit. We just walk away.
Yeah.
We just,
Yeah.
you know,
And the
say-
Thai guy had just told us, because he spoke English, how much it was.
Yeah.
So that wasn't very
That
pleasant.
type of thing.
You know, it doesn't happen everywhere.
You know, really, Thai people don't like that. Typically,
We understand that.
They don't like to see that happen, to be honest with you. And Thai people, they are the worst about asking for discounts for everything, especially my in-laws. Everything, discounts. Well, not really them, but their friends. But you know, I give you it's 40 baht. Okay, well, how about 30 baht? You know.
Yeah.
We've mentioned this
But
to a few
they
times.
don't like to see that happen.
No, they don't. They get, in Chiang Mai, some of the people got really annoyed
Yeah.
when we mentioned what was
Yeah.
happening. They get really annoyed.
Yeah.
And again, closer you get to the tourist trade, the tut-tuts and so forth, the service to tourists, they will stick it to you. You're cautious.
Better
Again,
not
that seems to be the guideline.
Not that big of a deal.
Not really.
You know, it's something, I guess, if you're aware of it, okay, just be aware, but don't get upset with them, you know, and don't cause a scene about it.
I try to stay positive on mostly everything too and look at other sides of what's happening. But you know, in Florida, for example, if I was to go to Florida, and you guys live there too, and I was born there, as a tourist, the same thing
Same
could
thing.
happen
Yeah.
in Florida. Same thing has happened to me in Florida, in California,
Oh,
in
yeah,
Canada. And we've traveled a lot of places, and when
Yeah.
they know you're a tourist, things,
They change.
Yeah.
They change. And
And that happens anywhere. It can happen anywhere.
It can happen anywhere. I don't think it's just Thailand.
No.
I could tell you a lot of crazy stories in Vietnam. I always talk about Vietnam. I lost all the coverage, but
Oh no.
a lot of opportunists in Vietnam. Very fun place to go. But you really got to watch yourself in Vietnam because they get you all kinds of ways over there.
Well, you know, we lived in
Tourist
California, Southern California, so you have the Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
Right, so you go near that border, it's the same thing.
Exactly.
They're hitting you up for money.
I used to go to
left and right,
Tijuana
huh?
all the time. I don't even know what kind of prices I was paying down there. After a few tequila poppers, who knows?
Who cares?
Whatever, keep them coming.
I think the biggest thing as far as getting scammed is our own fault, I guess, in a sense, and it's happened to us twice. When we moved to Florida, things were so much cheaper than California, so we're
Yeah.
like, oh, sure, that's all you want for that? Great, no problem, right?
Right.
Money, but no problem,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll pay it. Then we found out, again, it's the same situation. They took advantage of us because they knew we were from California. Like, oh, nobody in that area would have paid that much for that condo.
didn't do our diligence.
We didn't do our deal. We didn't know.
So what's the best thing you like about Thailand?
Oh, so many.
People.
The people.
The people.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. If
The people and the food.
The food is good. It's excellent. The people.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a different culture, different
Yeah.
than Mexico. You know, even Mexican, I mean, we love that down there too, but just a different culture.
Right.
You know, as a whole.
The
you know.
Buddhist culture is awesome, I think.
They're very nice.
Yeah.
They're very nice. I mean, you can get scammed from anyone and anywhere.
Right.
But as you pointed out, it can
Yeah.
happen anywhere. And you just have to be mindful. You just
Yeah.
have to be mindful of those things and, you know, just have to be careful of yourself. You know.
So do you have any, maybe some words of wisdom for anybody that's thinking about doing what you guys, was there anything that you would do different? A couple that was thinking about doing the same things that you do.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, so when we got our visa to come over here, we chose not to do it by mail. We took a huge leap of faith. We bought our plane tickets to come over here to Thailand and gave ourselves, what, a week up in New York. And it was a 24-hour turnaround. But you've got to make sure you have a ton of copies of the passport. Ron made sure we had a bazillion copies of everything.
Yeah.
Like we just had 5 copies of each. Because we got there, they wanted a few more. And if you do that, make sure it's in a packet, make sure it's nice and neat, and they like the paper clip on it. They're very particular about that. Make sure your paperwork's very good, and things will go smoothly. You know. So,
Did you research this prior to doing? Did you know how to do all this stuff? Was there a link or a website that you went to, or you just?
I went to the New York website. I did the Washington D.C. one.
Yeah.
And two, they have a phone number where you can call and they'll talk to you.
Uh-huh.
But New York was a lot simpler, probably because it's smaller, huh?
Well, they had the turnaround. We went to Miami to talk to a counselor down there. The counselor there, consulate, is a rented office with 2 girls. It's a very nice people. We learned a little bit there.
That's
at that
true.
office.
We did.
The one I
Yeah.
went to in Houston was one lady. and-
Probably the same.
Yeah.
Probably the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but I could only get a 90-day.
Yeah, that's all she could cut loose there in Miami.
And she had suggested for us to go through D.C., you know, or New York.
But
So-
New York was good.
Oh,
No,
just
I
went to
didn't.
the
I did
website.
not know New York. You could get a 1 year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they must be going to DC, I guess. Or I thought everything had to be funneled through DC.
I'd say they did 1 day tour.
24 hours, and we were just like, okay.
Because I do know some people that got it done, like in LA, but they mailed it all. They did all the
Oh, really?
the paperwork through DC to get their 1 year.
Oh, interesting.
They
So
just-
there was a wait delay.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that have gotten a 1 year that didn't actually go to DC, but that people did, because you can do everything by mail.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
So these people know exactly what paper, because they'll tell you if you do it by mail, it might take longer because you might not have all the information. but they know what you need to have, so they did it for them.
Oh, they did it right there in New York.
It was wonderful. A little small place, but they were, again, Ron prepared. He was good about that. Just made sure he had a bazillion copies of everything.
Yeah.
Because he wanted, I think when we went in, there was supposed to be my packet. Ron needed 2 packets. And then I think he asked for a third, didn't he? He asked for a third, but we were prepared. So it was no problem. If you're not prepared, then of course it could be longer. But 24-hour turnaround was great. You just planned. I don't know if there's anything we do differently. I mean, we just...
We had 3
Everything.
days the time we got the visas to our plane left.
Yeah,
Pretty
so-
tight.
So I know anytime we do some crazy thing like this, we got to think of what if it doesn't work? What is can I handle whatever the worst case scenario? So do you guys have a plan if it doesn't work
Plan
out?
B, as they say.
Yeah.
I don't know. We just,
Oh,
it will work out.
Okay.
It will
Very
work.
good.
And I think because Ron and I are gypsies anyway,
Very
when living
good.
in the States, we
All
went
over the
from
country.
California after my gallbladder surgery. Ron got a call for an amazing job out in Florida.
Yeah.
We've never been to Florida. It's like, you want to go? I'm like, okay, let's go. And so we again got rid of, we traveled with our furniture, I think, that time. I
Yeah,
think
we shipped everything.
So we went from California to Florida. We had never been to the East Coast. Same thing as we came here. But that's kind of our lifestyle, I suppose. We're all in. We're
Very
all in.
cool.
We're going to make sure it works. And I think the biggest thing is coming here is you need to have a budget. You need to know what your quality of life is, what you need, what you don't need, and you really need to live within that. Because if you don't, you get yourself into a pickle really quick. Because if you think you're on vacation, and then all of a sudden you're
That was going to be my last question, but because that seemed like a disadvantage, because for me, I came a few times to really, when I knew I was going to move here, I really did a lot of research. Our initial thought wasn't to live here, but I did a lot of research on trying to see how much it would cost me on my budget, but you guys didn't actually have a chance to do that, so.
Well, a little bit, yes. I definitely do research, no question about it. Chiang Mai makes it easier. Because we lived in Southern California, Chiang Mai to us was like San Diego. Bangkok to us is like LA. We don't want to live in LA. We don't want to live in Bangkok. So we chose Chiang Mai. Just for, the quality of life and everything they have to offer. It's a good place to start.
Yeah.
And online, you can find stuff online. Coming around here, traveling around Isan, you can't find a lot of stuff online. You have to be there in person. So coming for the first time, it's good to know where you want to land, do your research as to the areas, and so it's made it a little bit more challenging this time trying to find a place to live on.
Piece of advice, anybody coming here, learn to be patient. You can't bring your Western ways here. You deal with Thai people, you've got to be patient. They have their way. They're very competent at what they're doing.
Yes.
They know what to do, and they will take care of it. But it's going to be their way.
Yeah.
And you just got to sit back and watch it happen.
That's a good point. I'm so glad you said that, because you do need to realize they do know what they're doing. They're not stupid.
Oh, they're not stupid. No.
They know what they're
They're
doing,
very bright.
and they will take care of it. The problem is our experience in the States is we've had to tell, like, you go to the bank. They don't really know what they're doing. And it gets very frustrating. And you really have to, kind of explain to them what you need or how to do it. Here, you don't need to do that.
Right.
It's
But they're going to do it their way.
They are.
And there's going to be lots of paper involved.
My advice always for newbies is the smile. Just
Yes.
always smile, because this persona, if they think there's a problem, things get a little weird.
They do.
Falang's upset. They don't know what to do because they can't communicate. So just smile, and
It gets
if it
com-
really gets to a point where you gotta walk out and it says, "I'll come back tomorrow,"
Yes.
and or go to another location.
That's a good point.
You
If
know.
it doesn't work, go to another location.
Yeah, go to another location or come back later, or something. But
Oh, one thing about opening a bank account. We had no problem. We saw on YouTube, a lot of people had issues, whatever, and didn't know what to do. We had no problem. But what we discovered was we have a 1-year retirement visa. It's no problem. If you don't have a 1-year retirement visa, that's where people run into an issue. If you have a temporary,
Yeah.
90-day, then it could be an issue. But with the retirement, it was no problem whatsoever.
yeah, there's a lot of mixed stories on it. I personally couldn't get it done, but where I'm at, I had to have a long term visa. But a lot of people, a lot of banks will offer some kind of insurance, or they're selling some promotion, something, and these people can come on a holiday and open an account, but they have to buy this little insurance thing or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
And some people don't. It just depends on where you're at. It depends on the bank. But a lot of times they're like, why you don't live here? Why do you want to have money here? Especially Americans, because our government requires them to do a 1099 on us because, our government's got to know what we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got bills to pay.
Right, with your money.
Well, very awesome. I don't really have anything else to add to that. I thank you very much for letting me blah, blah, blah with you guys. But
That was wonderful. We appreciate it.
I know I'll get to keep back in touch because I got your things.
You got her stuff.
Yeah. So I'm real curious, and I'm sure everybody else is going to be curious too where you guys land.
We are
so
too. We're
you
quite
guys
curious.
have your own YouTube channel.
Yes,
And
we
I shared it on my last video, or one of my last videos. I don't know where this video will be. But is this something that you're going to keep active in Thailand?
I think so, because we want to share with people our experience and what we're going through and the different places we see.
I think that's important, not just for everybody else, but for you. And don't worry too much about the technical stuff because, like the editing and how you talk or whatever, because, they just want to know how it's working for you guys. And nobody really wants you to tell them this is how it is in Thailand.
Right.
Nobody likes that because your experience is going to be totally different than mine.
Yeah.
And how you handle your situation, is different than everybody else. But
Well, the biggest thing is we just like to have fun.
yeah.
We like to have fun, and our motto, right, is grown-ups can be boring, so get out and enjoy life.
I think that's very awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all, just so we have fun and the things that we have found in different areas.
Yeah.
Because when we have look on YouTube, the biggest thing is if you type in a city, it's usually more touristy.
Yeah.
And you're going, yeah, but that's not really for us. We're not really in the
When you
touristy.
type in Thailand on the internet, a lot of the same
stuff.
perception shows up.
Yeah, it does.
But you know what? Now I have like 1 million videos on like Google, so when people type in Google like something, my videos pop up, so hopefully they'll see a different side of,
Yeah.
somebody on a pole.
Well, your channel has been very helpful for us.
Well, thank you.
I'm from Texas too, so being from Texas, and Ron's been in Texas for a while.
Yeah.
It was nice because I could relate,
Right.
Ron can relate, so we can relate to what you were saying and the way you were saying it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, this is great,
I think it's important just to share your experience. Everybody has an opinion. I have mine. I'm a little sarcastic with mine too, but everybody's got a right to their opinion. But I try to just share how it happened for me,
Yeah.
And we talk to so many people that we want to share their experiences, as well. And you guys are going to encounter that too. So.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I just realized. One bit of advice for someone coming over here. I would recommend for females to bring their sanitary stuff that they need for the monthly, because here it's different. And depending on where you are in your stage in life and stuff, it's different here.
This is awesome information.
And
That's true, I've helped
Yeah,
to pick it out.
and I experienced, I found some pads that were cooling. I didn't know what that was. And it was not pleasant. It was not pleasant.
I can relate not to the pads, but to the powder. Are you using powder yet?
No.
Not yet.
You will. You will.
So
Just
I
don't
would-
use the cooling powder.
So I would recommend that because in the Western culture, I think our bodies are a little different.
Yeah.
And here, the pads are very thin. They're super thin. And they're just designed differently.
You guys are
And
loving
so,
this. I know it. I know you guys are loving this conversation.
It's
This
real
is
important.
awesome. Very
Because
important.
I had a stack, and it took me 3 months, I think, to find something to replace what I was using in the States.
But
And now
you have, you can get what's comparable here in Thailand now, or you happen to have.
No, I finally found something.
Okay.
It was a trial and error.
Yeah.
And it's real important to bring what you need.
Yeah.
And also for not medication. You don't really need medication here. But like we used to take the red pill, Sudafed, right? They don't sell those here. They don't have anything comparable to that here. And so our supply has now ran out. Oops. They don't have let's see, they have NyQuil.
I
and
think
they have
that type
NyQuil.
of stuff you have to get a prescription.
You can't get
can't
it.
buy it.
You can't.
It's considered a narcotic.
Yeah, I knew it was, but I thought you could get a prescription. No, you can't.
We had a druggist offer to buy a supply.
Yes.
Well, you know, they
Market.
restricted that a lot in the United States because they were mixing that. They were
Yeah.
making like crack cocaine and stuff
Yeah.
with that.
Oh,
That starts with a C. That
Claritin.
Claritin. You know, they limited to the amount that you could buy. I don't know if they still do today, but
No, you can buy it over there. In fact, now speaking of Claritin, we were able to find the real Claritin here. And it was a pharmacy in Chiang Mai at Pantip. There, she speaks perfect English and she understands the culture.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of American products there. But I would suggest, if you like Sudafed, you know, something like that, personal, you know, sanitary stuff, and anything else you love over there, you might not be able to find it here.
yeah.
I used to use mascara, it was Lancome, and it would cost about $20, $25 in the States. Here, what is it like $50 or $60? So guess what? No more.
I think eventually you'll learn to evolve. Maybe I have a few examples like mosquito spray. I would use the DEET and the heavy duty stuff, and I can't use it now. It burns. So I have to use the natural stuff. Nasal spray. I was like addicted to Afrin before I got my
They don't have it
surgery
here.
done. They have it here, but it's more water based. It's not as strong as Afrin.
Right.
So I had to wean myself off of that. And it's a lot of things that are different, but there are a lot of things that they have. They're just different names.
Right.
And when you try to tell them in the English name, they're like, a lot of the medications still, they have books that they can look at and they can get you different types, but a lot of times they have them. But I try to tell people that if you have a lot of medication that you need, go to the hospital, go to the clinic, and get reevaluated, and then they can give you a prescription of what's here in Thailand.
Right.
If it's not, if it's not the same that you have, it might be a little bit different, but it's really inexpensive to do that. But.
The other thing, cigars.
Okay, real quick, this is a funny story. I'm going to let him tell it. I've already heard it. So there's two parts to this story, so we'll try to make it quick.
Make it quick.
Okay.
I used to smoke cigars.
Yeah.
Really love my cigars. I ordered a bunch of cigars out of Chicago, or out of states. They came here to what's the
Chiang Mai
customs
Customs.
in Chiang Mai
In Chiang
Customs,
Mai.
and we got a notice that they're here. So we went down there, and I expected to spend several thousand baht tax on them and so forth. And the gal gave me a razor blade, and I had to open the package in front of her. I opened it up, and there was 20 beautiful cigars, nice and oily,
Fresh.
make your mouth water, fresh. The gal looked one look at them, stood back, threw up her hands, and starts talking about forbidden. They wouldn't let me have my cigars.
A cigar Nazi, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, she was freaking. So they confiscated cigars because I did not have a license to import cigars. So I says, okay, I'll go down and get a license for the next batch. They destroyed them, or ended up with somebody's. I applied for a license. It wasn't very much money, 300 baht. And the process was, I ordered the cigars, I have to tell this gal with the license what they are, and she documents what's coming in. Customs notifies us. Then we go pick up this gal from this license spot, take her down to the customs, and then we open the cigars, and she puts a tax tag on each and every cigar. And then they seal it back up, and I have to pay to have them ship it to my residence, which is usually 7,000 to 10,000 baht,
Yeah.
plus the tax, plus. So I applied for the license, and once I found out all the costs and so forth, I said, this isn't worth it. I can't afford this every. I mean, it's going to cost $100 a cigar for an $8 cigar. So I've quit.
Have you been able to get a hold of any cigar?
They're available here, but they're expensive as hell. And
In
they're,
Chiang Mai.
yeah, and they're dry. They're not worth the money.
I've seen some cigar bars
Yeah.
in Thailand.
They're
We found that one in
expensive.
Chiang Mai. Remember that
Yeah,
one we went
we
to?
found some. I bought a couple just because.
Yeah.
But they cost
It's
60
outrageous.
bucks, $60 American for a
Yeah.
$10 cigar, that type of thing. You know, they really they're exorbitant.
Yeah.
It's one of those luxuries I just gave
Right.
up.
You did a good job too on
So,
that. You have.
I haven't killed anybody yet.
No,
so I'm
you've
okay.
done great.
So I'm doing good.
You've done
Wow.
great.
That,
Okay.
Yeah, that is an awesome story for sure. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we got to get you to the other side of
Yes.
The
the
cool
company.
dome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, thank you again
Thank you,
for
Jeff.
letting
We
me
appreciate
sit here and
it.
talk to you guys. And
Appreciate you guys.
don't forget to check out their channel. I'll put a link in the description box. Hopefully, you guys keep the channel going.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
And
It's fun.
maybe if some of our viewers start watching, you can help them answer some questions for them too.
Absolutely.
So yeah, very
Absolutely.
cool. Okay, guys, thank you for listening to
Thank
us,
you.
and don't forget to click like, please. As always, I know you're tired of hearing it. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.